females, peahens, and young pea chicks. Now we know he is with that bright blue coloration to his head and his neck, as well as those elaborate train feathers. Now he has those colors and that train for one reason, and that is to attract a mate during the breeding season. However, his train is quite heavy and does weigh him down quite a bit, which can be problematic, especially when escaping predation. So at the end of breeding season, around August, he will begin to lose those train feathers one by one to make him lighter in flight. But don't worry, because in preparation for the next breeding season, he will begin to regrow them all and get to show off to ladies once again. So he's just wandering around, but he's done a great job showing off his beauty today, so give it up for Parker. Alright, now flipping the switch back on over to parrots. Another factor that's limiting parrot survival in the wild is the loss of their nesting sites. So parrots actually rely on hollowed out tree cavities to build their nests, and that means factors such as logging, agriculture, and uncontrolled forest fires can make breeding in the wild pretty challenging for them. So one thing that is being done to support breeding in the wild when those tree cavities are not readily available is to provide man-made nesting sites. And a really great example of what one of those might look like is right over here where Pepper, our scarlet macaw, is hanging out by. Now, one of our partners in conservation, the World Parrot Trust, has placed over 100 nesting boxes in the wild for a variety of different parrot species, just to ensure that parrots have a safe place to rest and raise their young. Now, African Lion Safari has also had success in providing nesting boxes for our parrots here, and that does bring me to the next bird that we'd like to introduce you to. So making his way in will be Arthur, and Arthur here is our 11-year-old winged macaw. Now, Arthur actually hatched out right here at Safari 11 years ago, but so did his mother way back in the early 90s. Now, to you and I, flying sure does seem like something that would be a whole lot of fun, but for birds, it is actually a means of survival. So whether they're out foraging for food, searching for a mate, seeking shelter, or even migrating between those summer and winter homes. But I do think Arthur here, and I'm sure you'd all agree, that he is quite a handsome boy. So we did think, what better way to include him in our presentation than to fly over the lucky heads of our audience members. But it will be just a second as we're trying to get Parker here back home. But once we do count him down, we're going to do it all together. So on my count, we're going to count down from 3 and then shout take off as loud as we can. All right, so is everyone ready? All right, so on my count, 3, 2, 1, take off! I don't know, I think we can be way louder than that. So we're going to try that again. Now, is everyone ready? Yeah. Okay, on my count, 3, 2, 1, take off! May just be looking for that perfect moment in the wind. So too much wind can make it difficult for macaws to navigate their flight. So they do need just the perfect amount in order to take off and steer their flight. And they also just be taking in all these beautiful colors. So fun fact, parrots do have more acute color vision than humans do. They have a higher density of cone structures in their retina, and that simply means that they can perceive a broader spectrum of colors than we can, which also includes ultraviolet light. Now, another thing that's really important for them in their ability to fly are those air sacs. Now, like all birds, parrots have air sacs, and those are very important for aerodynamics. Their job is to help deliver oxygen to those tissues, as well as to dissipate that tremendous amount of heat that is generated when flying. Now, a lot of people do ask us, why don't our birds fly away? A better question would be, why do they stay on the ground? Because it does require an enormous amount of energy, and most of the time they do also just prefer to be lazy and hang out with us. So maybe if we go just a bit closer to see if Arthur will fly here. So we're going to bring him down here. See if he'll take off from just a bit of a closer distance. There is a bit of wind, like I said. What do you say, Arthur? Thinking about it? No, he's saying I like Wyatt. I want to stay with Wyatt. What do you say?
It's looking like Arthur's not gonna fly today, but that is a-okay. He tried his best, so let's give it up for Arthur.
All right, so we have a lot of amazing characteristics of parrots throughout our presentation here today. But what's the one thing that parrots do that everybody wants to hear?
Speak.
I definitely heard it. So of course it is talking. Now, very similar to how humans are able to learn multiple languages, parrots are able to adopt the human language on top of those calls that they already know. So joining us here today to showcase her speaking capabilities of the human language is our yellow-crowned Amazon Eddie.
Well, usually little Eddie likes to start off by greeting you all. A very cheerful hello. Now, Eddie is not just cheerful, but she is known to be one of the nosiest birds in our collection, so she's going to go ahead and ask you her favorite question. That's right, little Eddie here has to know what we're all doing every second of every day. Now, when she's asking us this question, though, she's just wondering if we're going to be cleaning up after her, giving her her favorite treat, or maybe even playing her favorite game. Now, Eddie's favorite game happens to be... She loves to be tickled. What do you guys do when you get tickled? You laugh. Well, so does Eddie. Definitely keeps us chuckling throughout the day. Now, parrots are known for picking up on sound effects, and Eddie does have a few that she would like to do for you. Her first one, though, is us drinking a cold glass of water on those hot safari days. Staying nice and hydrated. And now while working away, I have to admit, we've hurt ourselves a few times, and I guess she thought it was pretty funny because she's picked up on our reaction. Right, there is no secrets when Eddie is around, and for her last sound effect, she has simply just a kiss to show her appreciation for all of you being here today. Very kind, Eddie. Now, she is obviously very talented, but she's also musically talented, so she does have a few songs that she would like to sing for you. Now, I hate to break it to you, though, she has learned to sing from us here at Safari, and we were simply not hired for our musical talents, so I'm going to ask you to use your imagination, but first we're going to warm up her voice. Sounds nice and in tune to me for a bird. Well, for Eddie's first song, she was hatched and raised right here in Canada. Very proud of that fact. She has a little bit of our national anthem. Very patriotic, Eddie. Now for her next song, I'm wondering, does it happen to be anybody's birthday on Safari today? Do we have a birthday in the crowd? In the crowd, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 birthdays. All right, you know what? That's good. Is that enough for you, Eddie? She says, nope, we're gonna need some more hands in the air. Let's try for the month of July. Any more July birthdays? Quite a few more hands. All right. Well, here at Safari, we like to include as many people as we can. So I need you to raise your hand nice and high if you have a birthday in the next year or so. Should be just good, everybody. Now, whatever your special day is, especially if it's today, then this one's for you.
Happy birthday. Oh,
All of the words, none of the rhythm, not too bad for a little green bird. Though, give it up for Eddie today. Well, here at African Lion Safari, we like to say the first steps in conservation is, of course, education. So we're hoping you've had some fun, maybe you've learned a thing or two, and we're ultimately hoping that you've gained an appreciation for not just these exotic species, but maybe some of the more common ones you already recognize. Now, what we like to do is invite you down to the front, have a closer look at these birds, maybe ask any questions, take any pictures, and before you do so, a reminder, around the corner, down the path to the left, will be our next Birds of Prey flying demonstration of the day. I do believe Eddie has one last thing. A few goodbyes and a little foot wave as well. Enjoy the rest of your day here on the safari. Goodbye.